Welcome back to Little Mountain Homestead. Today I am sharing the process of building my garden fence. So last year I attempted to garden and I had a little bit of success, primarily with lettuce, potatoes, and a bit of spinach. And this year I wanted to do a better job, and that meant keeping the wildlife out. So this is going to be the process and journey of building my garden fence. It's a bit of a long video. Grab a snack, maybe something to drink, and I hope you enjoy it. So when it came to picking a spot for the garden, I chose a sunny spot. It gets sun all day long, and there was plenty of space here for a 20 by 30 garden. So that is why I picked this spot. We did hire some guys to come out and actually put the posts in the ground for us. And the reason for that is that we live in the Rocky Mountains. It is so rocky here and we don't have the machinery to dig post holes. So that's why we went ahead and hired them to come out and set those posts, but we did everything else ourselves. Okay, here is where the fencing project is currently at. Out of the 10, I think 8 are in the ground, so 2 more to go. It's gone, I don't know, it's taken a couple hours. So I'm quite excited about this progress.
All I want in this whole life, a little red house and a country wife, a picnic table out on the lawn, a couple of kids and a couple of dogs. Work all day to 5:30, a chain link fence and a gravel drive, the wind chime ringing on my front porch, a brand new carpet on every floor.
Hello everybody, it is Saturday, April 29th, and we are working on my garden today. We just recently finished, just on Thursday I think, we finished painting the door frames. Now we're just really letting those dry before we put our doors up, because we made a mistake in the past of putting the doors up too soon and all the paint ripped off. So learning experiences, but it is an absolutely gorgeous day. Almost 60 degrees out today. So we are going to work on putting the fence together. Our neighbor, the same neighbor who let us use his ATV, he's awesome. He is letting us borrow his come along, because the problem we realized that we were running into with the welded wire was that we didn't have anything to stretch it with to get it really tight. We have a fence stretcher for smooth wire, but we didn't realize we were going to need a fence stretcher for the welded wire. So we're borrowing his come along. We went and bought a 2x4x8 today. We're gonna cut that in half and use it as like a clamp, like a vice grip on the welded wire, and then we'll hook the come along up to that on a couple of hooks, pull the fence really tight, and then we can staple it in. So let's go ahead and head outside and see how much of this fence we can get done today. everybody, I am a bit windblown. I've been outside working on the garden fence. Some rain is coming in, very, very windy. It's often windy here. We have not finished the welded wire yet. We have 3 sides done with welded wire. I honestly just had a bit of a rough work day and I did not feel like messing around with pulling welded wire. So I randomly decided to start on the chicken wire. We are putting chicken wire 24 inches up and 24 inches out surrounding the garden. So we're gonna show you that, and we're also going to rig up like a pulley system to pull the chicken wire and hopefully get it tight. That has been the biggest issue of this project, is just having the right tools to pull the wire tight. I really underestimated how difficult that was going to be and what we would need in order to achieve that. So if you are thinking of building a fence and you've never done so before, like me, make sure you think ahead in terms of what you're going to use to pull your wire tight. So we're gonna head out to the garage, rig something up, and hopefully we'll be able to pull the chicken wire tight so that it looks nice and it's not all wavy. All right, so it is Saturday, May 6th, I want to say, and Greg and I are working on getting the last of the welded wire pulled, and I just have to check in and say I am so frustrated with this project just because it feels like we have to redo it over and over and over and over because we've never done this before. We're totally new and learning and figuring it out as we go, but I have to say, like, after pulling the same welded wire like 10 times, I'm just done. So done with it, but we're almost there. Here's where we are currently. Almost there. 1 left to go. Hello everybody, I am out in the garage right now. It's thundering, it's about to rain, but I am working on getting the gate for my garden fence built. I've never built a gate before. I looked it up online, I looked it up on YouTube how to do it, and Greg is helping me. I just cut down the lumber and some of my cuts weren't very good. Some of them are a little bit sideways. But I am still learning, and yeah, so I went ahead and I cut those down. We're going to screw those together, figure out how to do the cross beams. We don't have too many tools. I've just been using a circular saw to make these cuts, so I don't have like a nice saw like on a workbench or anything like that. But I'm doing the best I can, and I'm learning along the way. So let's go ahead and get this all put together and see if it works. So there you have it. My garden fence is mostly complete. I still need to put a crossbeam on the gate, and the only other problem is that unfortunately the prairie dogs are still getting in. So even though I did 2 layers of chicken wire, they can still push through, and the little baby prairie dogs have been the main problem because they're so tiny. I even put bird netting around one of my beds, one of the low beds, and they can even get in there. So it has been a little bit frustrating, but you know, I learned a lot through this process. I think the fence looks absolutely beautiful. And the only change I think I would make is instead of using chicken wire, I would use welded mesh because it has a much tighter weave, and the prairie dogs, even the baby prairie dogs, definitely couldn't get through that. So for now, apart from replacing the chicken wire with the welded mesh and putting that crossbeam on the gate, it is complete. I love how it looks. I think it's really beautiful, and I am officially on to gardening. I will be sharing quite a bit of gardening content on the channel, hopefully. I've already had some trials and tribulations this gardening season, so I'll probably be sharing that in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.